There's a moment in your bones when the fire takes over. Blood is running, heart is pumping as the battle gets closer. They can say what they want now, 'cause we'll be screaming now. We can be heroes everywhere we go. We can have all that we ever want. Swinging like Ali, rocking our bodies, standing on top like a champion. Keep your silver, give me that gold. You'll remember when I say we can be heroes everywhere we go. Keeping us down is impossible. We're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. We're unstoppable.
Welcome back, summoners, to the 2018 Backers Pro Gaming Series Spring Split. My name is Vulcan. With me is Chisto, your shoutcasters entering our match 2. But before all that, we forgot to mention our MVP for our closing game in our match 1, which is TNC versus the jungler itself of, I would say, TNC Pro Team, who did great. I mean, performed beyond expectation.
Yeah,
I would say.
feeling ko well-deserved yung MVP reward para kay Burst, and that's great momentum headed into the finals. Pero ngayon, let's go ahead and see sino ang makakatapat nila. Ito ba ay magiging Mineski or BRE Rage Esports? But Vulcan, let's go ahead and talk about what happened for BRE during the quarterfinals. They were able to win a very hard-fought 5-game series versus IPT, and that's a big win for BRE because at the start of the split, walang nagsabi na, okay, maybe they do good, but nobody said BRE would make playoffs. It was a very bold prediction to make, but now they're here. They are facing off versus Mineski, which is a very, very tough opponent.
So guys, ito po yung recap natin dun sa sinabi si Chisto dun sa quarterfinals. Ito si BRE, BRE Esports, getting 3 points against Imperial Pro Team, where if you look at our new player format, you can see, I want you guys to see what happened in the quarterfinals. Yes, it's going to be 3-2. So, what does that mean? The lowest remaining seed will face off against Mineski, and that would be BRE.
Yeah, but yeah, like we see here as well, of course, the defending champions are now out for the playoffs. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this matchup even more, Vulcan. And going back to yung una kong sinabi, nobody expected BRE to make it this far.
I think sa lahat natin, Chisto, we never expected BRE would make it this far, which is,
it's a big surprise.
A pleasant surprise.
But yeah, they have been performing very well. I think during playoffs, they really showed what their potential could do, of course, taking out IPT. But like I mentioned, it's going to be a very tough task because it is Mineski they're up against, of course. Mineski also have performed exceptionally well in the regular season, and I think this is normal Mineski, just stomping the regular season, and then just headed into playoffs. Just let's see though, will we see the same Mineski where they just?
Yes, we might see the same Mineski going into the playoffs, which is actually the semifinals. Papunta tang finals, pero for Mineski, I would say congratulations making this far. And not just that, one of the teams, the pioneering teams, the first teams ever in the PGS to actually import one player, which is Celestial. We still remember him from our last split last year. But now, moving on to our spring split of 2018. You guys should know, si Gary at si June, or the jungler and the ADC of Mineski, will now play against BRE, which, sa tingin mo, Chisto, this is another tall order that BRE has to face off. But I think sa YouTube chat natin, may fans ka yung sa hashtag Lando Army. So we may see him, let's say, spark here in this match too.
Yeah, and you mentioned the imports that Mineski brought in for this season, and it has had a big effect on the PGS in general. I think having the Korean imports come in, it really raised the bar of competition, and it forced everyone to try and get better, practice harder, try and match up to the skill that Mineski can bring, and the effect has been apparent given that everyone else has been getting better.
Yes, when it comes to Mineski, I would love to give, let's say, appreciation to the local players here, which is sila si James, si TG. Not just that they are doing so well in the spring split, but for TG, great communication, kahit may imports na. This is what I love about TG as a player, where communication is key between the bot lane. This is not his first time playing with an import, guys. Remember si Celestial last year, but now TG again, adapting so well. And this is what I like about dun sa... I think this is where we can stress dun sa local players natin, Gisto. In a way that magaling sila mag-adapt, and in a way they're very accommodating to, let's say, change, and they embrace it. We see this in the side of Mineski, and now, when it comes to change, Gisto, we gotta highlight si James. Playing in the mid lane right here. Last year, he was playing, let's say, in the... He was more of a flex, but more on sa jungle siya last split. But now, he will be playing mid. In a way, Chisto, sa tingin mo, I think si James deserves praise entering the semifinals.
Yeah, but speaking of entering stuff, we're headed straight into pick and ban. Let's see what these teams decide to deny from each other. Mukhang ang opening ban will be the Talia from BRE, taking that away from James.
So in a way, we know that si James, galing siya mag-response sa side lanes. Kahit si James, nag-Veigar siya, remember that he was able to rotate towards the top and to the bot and immediately shut down TNC's Tristana, which was Demon. So now, it's not a surprise for here that we see right now that for BRE, they will remove and respect the side lane pressure that James can bring in our game 1.
Yeah, speaking of removing things, mukhang aalisin ng Mineski. Ang dalawa sa signature picks ng BRE dito. They removed the LeBlanc from Jaime, which was very key in their 5-game victory over IPT in the quarterfinals, and deny Lando Camille as well. Of course, Lando, alam natin, he likes to be on these split push champions. Camille is one of those. Mukhang ayaw ng Mineski bigyan ng comfort pick si Lando. But with these bans coming out, it does leave Galio open for BRE, and I think this Galio pickup is great for Barca Exilage Esports because in a patch, of course, 8.4, it's very early game centric. Galio isa siya dun sa mga champions could really impact you in the early game.
And when you talk about Galio, it's not just, I would say, for BRE, taking away, let's say, the strong early game champions that you said, Chisto. But it's also the fact that si James, he has been not playing this champion all throughout in the mid lane. And this is James, guys. Nagaling siya mag-response on side lane. So you may expect that for BRE, they don't want to deal with it. Pero sa tingin sa Mineski, they will take away yung sa Johnny at yung Ezreal. As you said, in this meta itself, this patch, 8.4 that we are playing right now, it's all about early game.
Yeah, and speaking of early game, mukhang BRE are just going on to picking the Galio. They're gonna complement that by locking in the Tristana and their very powerful bot lane, especially versus an Ezreal. Gary will be scaling in this matchup with just by tier, and it'll take some time for him to get to his actual power spikes, whereas the Tristana will just get Infinity Edge into a possible Zeal item. I really like the bot lane pickup from BRE.
It's also to note that for BRE, we're seeing the duo that we always know, C Ardai at C Shanna. Yes, it will be Ardai at Shanna that we know and love, where they played up in the Piltover's finest. Now, making into this playoffs in the semifinals. So, Olaf picked Chisto. This is in a way a popular pickup that you may see in your solo queues, or if you don't see in your solo queues, you may want to watch and learn right here in the pages why this Olaf is rising in popularity.
Actually, not just in solo queue, Vulcan. Kung manunod ka sa other regions, Olaf has been one of those picks, especially in the LCK, that has been rising in popularity. And I think part of the fact is because this game is early game centric. Olaf is one of those junglers that could really clear fast.
Ang bilis yung clear niya, yung undertow.
And go on to ganking in the early game, especially pre-6, where Olaf, I think, really shines. And he transitions well. And if you're able to accumulate a lead with this champion, your team can snowball very well. But looks like the comps will be rounded out here. Lando will be playing one of the signature champions, si Fiora.
So alam natin sa mga fans ni Lando, yung Fiora pick nila,
yung Lando Arm.
Hashtag Lando Arm, yung Fiora pick, it's one of his signature picks that you can say that defines this player. It loves to split push. Yes, but for in the top play, we gotta give kudos si Gaigo. All throughout this pick split, Chisto, sa tingin natin, he's always been this player to quickly adapt. He's played with Vladimir, he played tank champions, and now he's playing Donar to challenge this Fiora. So, Summoners, ito na po tayo sa semifinals. Sa tingin nyo, sino pa nanalo dito sa semifinals na match 2? Is it going to be Mineski or sa tingin nyo si BRE? Maraming fans tayo sa BRE, pero kay Mineski, maraming fans din sa lahat ng Pilipinas kasi alam natin yung mga imports. You know that it could be a double-edged sword. But I just love how the players all around Mineski are really welcoming, and now this team is growing exponentially. But now, I think we'll see it all unfold in Summoner's Rift. Ito na po mga Summoners, live po tayo sa match 2 ng Game 1. This is going to be Mineski versus BRE Esports. What a long journey that BRE made it this far. But let's see, can they keep up the momentum and surprise us even more?
Yeah, of course, BRE, nakuha nila yung isang upset in the quarterfinals, eliminating Imperium Pro Team. Tingnan natin, can they get one more upset here? It's a monumental task, considering ang katapat nila ay Mineski.
I think in a way, BRE, when they face off against a strong team like Mineski, at this point, dapat mag-proud sila kasi they made it this far. They know that they made it to playoffs, which I think is a great achievement when you are a new team entering the PGS. And we saw change. We saw monumental change on the BRE side. But for Mineski, they just outclassed BRE in this matchup. But let's see. Maybe the heart in this game can really win them.
Yeah, I think one way na pwede mong ilagay yun is BRE have exceeded all expectations. Pero yun nga, like you mentioned, I think Mineski have the reputation. They have the results. And they look very poised to win. But of course, this is a best of 5 Vulcan. Who knows what might happen here? I mean, both teams have to win 3 games if they want to advance to the finals. Tignan natin, sinong mas gustong makatapat yung TNC dun sa finals? Mas gusto kaya ng BRE Esports or baka mas gusto ng Mineski?
Kasi alam natin, Chisto, dun sa bagong format ng GPL, na at least yung Vietnam server, yung region itself has their own competitive region. So, papuntang GPL, 5 regions lang. And I think for Philippines, if we have a strong contender katulad ng Mineski, in a way, they could really bring the dream to us that they can represent us in this coming up MSI.
I mean, I think Vulcan kahit sinong team is-send natin dun where it is, whereas it's TNC or possibly BRE or even Mineski, I think anyone would match up very well because like we mentioned, the PGS this split has been very, very competitive. Talagang umangat yung bar ng competitiveness ng lahat ng teams. Regardless kung anong reputation meron kayo, everyone stepped up.
And now, when we're talking about stepping up, Chisto, note that we always see the classic matchup, yung Galio at si Corky. So tingin mo yung Galio, in a way can block some magic damage kasi mahirap talaga yung Galio eh. Hybrid damage ng Corky, AD at AP.
Yeah, and of course, Corky is a very standard pick into Galio because it does give him a free lane. Galio really can't pressure the Corky this early. Galio is more of that side lane threat. Whereas the Corky will just be able to farm constantly in the mid lane, mag-clear lang siya, and Jaime, ang gagawin na is mag-wave clear on Galio. There's really no point in trying to fight the Corky pre-level 6.
That's very true, and note that for pre-level 6, and we're right now waiting for that level 6, that's the time where the game will get exciting. That's the time where we see where the mid laners can really intervene yung sa top or sa bot. Pero sa tingin natin yung junglers, medyo mahirapan si, I would say, si Jun. Kasi yung si Juani, in a way, ang bagal ng clear niya sa camps. Tulad sa Olaf.
Compared to an Olaf, of course, sa Juani will clear a bit slower. Yung key nga lang dun is magagamit kaya ni XDXP yung fact na mas mabilis siya mag-clear to possibly go for a gank here and really try and get at least one of his laners ahead. Because looking at BRE, if you're able to give this PRL lead, like Lando in particular, if he becomes a split push threat, it's gonna be very difficult for Mineski to deal with him because ang hirap yung 1v1 ng PRL if she does get the lead.
And guys, note that sa tingin nyo, why are you may guys wonder bakit ancient coin si Lando kasi we're still right now in patch 8.4 where we are experiencing a gang right now in the mid lane. First blood immediately gets secured by BRE. This is what we were talking about, Chisto, yung kanina. Yung wave clear ng, yung clear spin ng Olaf. Now I think XDXP is ramping things up.
Yeah, it's only 4 minutes into the game and he's already pulled off that gank and napakaganda ng execution. And since James isn't running the cleanse on Corky, he doesn't get away instantly after the flash taunt by the Galio. And Jaime chain CCs it perfectly to the Justice Punch, which locks him down long enough for XDXP to deal enough damage to the Corky. But yeah, going back to what you said about Lando starting items, we are on patch 8.4. Bandit is still available on the support items and pairing that with the Kleptomancy, mas mabilis na makakakuha ng gold yung Fiores. And that really helps with Noble as bot lane.
They initiate with the combo with the Alistar, but the storm won't connect because we saw Ardai. Rocket jumped away. So, in a sense, Mineski, we know that this duo, they're very aggressive. But still, we're seeing them pushing hard. Calls in XDXP, waiting in the brush side. Pero nakita sila sa ward. So XDXP may just recall here. At Ardai is relatively low, but TG may go in for another combo. That's the thing with the Alistar. Grabe yung zoning.
Yeah, he wants to go in for the combo, but I think Ardai already has his rocket jump. Oh my
flash
god!
combo! That is so hard to pull in terms of timing, and in the end, the trample will kill off Ardai. Now he's left alone. Garena has to defend with the Unbreakable, buying some time for his team. But now, wala siyang mana, so we are seeing Mineski again with the aggression, with the flash, and immediately catches Ardai off guard.
He really wanted that kill, Vulcan, and such aggression as top lane. Jun's here.
Lando goes for the riposte, does not connect any CC, does not get blocked here, but that will be the permafrost connecting to Lando. Launch for over the wall, and he hits himself to the face. So, medyo malas siya sa queue.
Yeah, medyo malas na untok siya dun sa pader, but yeah, the Mineski immediately turning it up after that gank mid lane. Top lane, bot lane, already we see action. Looking at the aggression from TG, talagang gusto niyong patayin si Ardai dun, and unfortunately Ardai, he did not back off. He didn't show enough respect to the Alistar, and it cost him his life. As for Lando, I think for that he was too far pushed up and wasn't expecting Jun to be there because he hadn't set his trinket ward in the bush towards the river.
So you know Lando, his playstyle, he really loves to push deep, and that actually punished him. And we saw that he had used his flash, and yung Q, sobrang malas yung Q. It got hit in the wall, so he could not get over it because in terms of Lando, he knew his game plan. Yung execution medyo kulang dyan. Maybe in a way, the nerves are setting for BRE because they're facing one of the strongest teams entering the PGS.
I would say the strongest team entering the PG. I think at this point it's safe to say that because Mineski ended their regular season without dropping a match. They were undefeated in terms of matches where they went 7-0, I believe. But yeah, so BRE, like you mentioned, medyo nandun nga yung nerves, but this is a best of 5 Vulcan in a long series. If you're able to overcome that pressure being exerted to you, I think you can be in a very good position to possibly challenge Mineski.
And the challenge for Lando here is to try to outpush the Snar, and the challenge for the entire team of BRE Esports is to try and let's say upset it, try to make it. You know what I think for BRE right now? They should set things high on. They should try and take a point from Mineski, but in the end, that could be their starting point. That could be their chance to ramp up some momentum, but the momentum will be delivered onto the bot lane with Ardai getting locked down by the prison. They will go for the dive where Gary just mystic shots him for the last hit, gets the kill.
Yeah, Ardai not respecting them again. Jun was just in a perfect position to land that glacial prison, but initially I like the thought from TG trying to headbutt onto a minion to close the gap as top lane.
Madam talaga kasi this Gnar, when you see the grand challenge onto the Gnar, you can just leap away and deny so much damage. In a way, it's really hard for Lando to try and kill this Gnar, and the Justice Punch gets blocked by the Sejuani. And now Mineski, they're piling up against Jaime. He's trying to survive, but in the end, he cannot really outrun 3 members, but the Olaf can do some slows, but in the end, we see James picking up his first kill in the game.
Man, gusto ko yung response ng Mineski dito, and this is what they are known for, their early game. Throughout the split, they really have been one of the best teams as far as the early game goes, and regardless of them dropping first blood, they were able to pick up 4 kills just straight back from everywhere practically. TG roaming up to the mid lane as well. The proactivity coming from Mineski is just great.
And we know that this Galio, si Jaime, he's trying to prison James in his own lane, trying to really out-push him, clear the ways fast. But in the end, we saw again, like you said, Gisto, yung proactivity ni Mineski going towards from the bot. They got the kill to Ardai, so bot lane's free. So why not we go to the mid lane and again show them our domination. But right now, when it comes to kill score, we're seeing it right now, Summoners. You can see it here. It would be 1 to 4. Timer natin, lumapit ng 9 minutes. We have yet to see our first turret. And the first Drake of this game would be the Cloud Drake. But at the pace that Mineski is playing right now, the amount of pressure they're putting in onto BRE, it's a matter of time.
No, I wouldn't be surprised to see the first turret of the game fall down here in the bot lane. There's already a lot of chip damage on that turret as Lando also getting pushed in here. Looks like Mineski's lanes just have the advantage. They're doing a good job of containing majority of the laners of BRE. Talagang hindi nila hinahayaan na makagalaw ng mga to. They're always pushed under tower. Even Jaime. Galio has to roam in order to be effective in the early game, but they haven't been able to set up any plays around that Galio because James has been able to constantly push him in, and the gank as well from Jun and DG to help him add more pressure to the mid lane.
And at this point of the game, we always say it's all about early pressure, and that's why we see XDXP went for that first blood, but now we don't see... That was it.
There needs to be follow-up. It
There
needs to be a
needs
build-up.
to be
Vulcan.
more momentum. Yes, a follow-up Chisto. But right now, it's still not yet over because we can at least expect BRE and XDXP. He's the one to really try and call the shots, but it's really difficult knowing that Mineski, they have a very strong early game.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised to see the first start of the game fall down in the bot lane.
This is
Mineski are
dangerous.
just trying to brute force this. I don't see a response coming from BRE. All of their members are locked into staying in lane. Just because
very difficult. In a way, Jisto, I think we have our first start of the game, and this could inevitably be the start for Mineski to ramp it up in the mid lane because as of this point, Jaime is just rushing up his Abyssal Mass, but Mineski, they got a first turret. Might as well take the first Drake of the game, which is the Cloud Drake, and we see did they get it without any contest, but Lando top lane goes for the parry, and Kaigo goes in for the re-engage with his top, but that will be the grand challenge on to Kaigo. He does flash away. So in the end, it will be Kaigo really outmaneuvering Lando.
Yeah, who was baiting who there? Lando was prompted to go for the all-in after Kaigo burned his hop on the Gnar, but Kaigo deals enough damage, able to kite away from Lando. Just a great solo kill 1v1 outplay.
A great outplay from the top laner of Mineski, si Kaigo. So, for Lando, yung KD niya is at 0-0. We don't know that the first blood went to BRE, but we all know that the first turret is more valuable went to Mineski.
Yeah, and now that Mineski do have the Cloud Drake, that means na mas mabilis na sila mag-rotate around the map with that out-of-combat move speed. Ngayon, I think they are going to send Kaigo to the bot lane to match the push that BRE are doing. And then they're gonna send Gary and TG to the top lane to shut down Lando even more because really in a 2v1, what can a Fiora do?
Can't really do much stuff, but at least Lando can do something about it. Try, because at this point, BRE has to try and do everything they can to stall the early game that Mineski is really strong at this point. So, in the timer we're seeing right now, nearing the 30-minute mark, it's not yet there, but for Mineski, what a great start they had for BRE. They got the first blood, and now XXP. He won't commit to this one, Chisto.
Alam mo, BRE, they were trying to match the early game. They were able to get first blood, but they didn't follow up after that. The moment you get that lead, you need to keep building on it, especially in a jungler like Olaf who falls off very, very hard compared to sa Juwani. Meron lang ng window dito na magiging effective si XDXP na Mineski won't deal enough damage to actually kill him once he runs at you. But that window is very, very quickly closing, Vulcan. And the moment that XDXP becomes irrelevant because of the nature of his pick, mahihirapan yung BRE to mount anything or try and set up for any play.
They can try until they succeed, Chisto. Because when you're looking at a kill score, when you're looking at a kill score of 1 to 5, it may be difficult for them. You would say that Mineski is really playing the early game strong, but the gold lead is not yet that definitive because wala pa yung medyo deadly 10k gold lead that we always talked about, but that could change right now in the top lane. We're seeing that Mineski, they're forcing a fight. You out of say they went to the ball, but in the end, Mineski, they have pressure, they have the control in the early game. Immediately makes BRE very uncomfortable. Now the top lane outer turret is being taken down by Mineski slowly. That'll be the true shot barrage being used to clear out the wave. So I think Yeah, that will be the tower there. The second tower of the game would go to Mineski.
Yeah, and you mentioned there wasn't any definitive gold lead after that aggressive
Now
move.
we see it already.
Now we're gonna see a definitive gold lead, Vulcan, and Mineski are really opening up the map here, and this Rift Herald will just accelerate their early game even more.
This is difficult because when they get the Rift Herald, and we all know that in patch 8.4, the Baron buff has been, in a way, buffed. Was fixed in a way later in the patch 8.5, but right now in this 8.4, the more Baron buffs you get, the earliest Baron buff you get, that is enough for Mineski to try and end the game as soon as they can.
Yeah, Baron is such a huge objective on this patch specifically kasi it really helps your team push forward, and looking at BRE's comp, it's only the Galio for that wave clear, and with the resistance to magic damage, it's gonna be very difficult to actually clear versus the Baron up Mineski. Now I wonder which lane they'll choose to push down. It's only the mid lane left though, and with Kaigo able to hold his own versus Lando, I think they won't be dealing with a split pushing Fiora anytime soon.
And in a way, Chisto, we kind of bullied the Cloud Drake saying that it's a very unpopular kid. the unpopular Drake in the whole game itself. But at this point in the patch 8.4, where it's all about early pressure, I think, and rotation, I think the Cloud Drake is being used really well by Mineski, because if they get a second stack, they can try and be greedy. They can try and go for the Drake and straight to the Baron. They have the movement speed to do so.
Yeah, now we're moving to the mid game, and I think dito talaga magsha-shine yung champion sa Mineski, especially the Corki and the Ezreal. Looking at Gary's items right now, he already has an Iceborne Gauntlet, gonna mitigate some of the AD damage coming from BRE, and the Manamune gonna build quickly into a Muramana, possibly very soon, and the Trinity Force as well from Hammers in the mid lane. Just these mid game spikes as far as items go for Mineski are huge, so if a fight does break out, BRE will be in a bit of a disadvantage.
And we all know that when you look at a game like this and you see the fog of war, there will be a clash happening here. Look at Jaime immediately getting shielded by Shanna. And right now, Mineski, 3 members were spotted here. Let's begin the party. Por opening the mouth, and that's such a cute interaction. But in the end, the Rift Herald is not cute. So, we're seeing it right now. Moving it down mid. Mineski will be forcing this outer turret to be taken down.
Yeah, I don't think BRE can do anything to defend here. Mineski are going to take down the final outer turret from BRE. And you know,
stop the Herald.
one thing I haven't seen in this game is Jaime use his ultimate.
Yes, in a way, Chisto, we did see in the early phases of the game, they were just prisoners to each other.
It's a result of James really pushing in mid lane over and over. And if you push in the lane, it means that your opposing laner can't roam.
And Gary can do the
unless
same.
he gives up some CS, and the ganks as well really shut down this Galio. And without that hero's entrance being a factor for BRE, there's really nothing they can do as far as side lane pressure can go.
Wait. Kaigo may go for a fight here. He does get the Mega Nard, forces stun, calls in Jaime for the Galio. That will be the 2-man knockoff. But now, immediately Mineski responds with 4 members. That is just brutal. Make it 5. So, again, with the aggression from Mineski, immediately responds in the bot lane.
Yeah, that's a well-executed dive by Mineski, using the Alistar ultimate for that extra tankiness. Now 5 members strong. There are no more minions, but who cares about that? Let's just stay another turret.
And so we always see this Alistar in a way to TG. It really suits him so well. In a way, the playstyle aggressive. And not just that, just seeing an Alistar G-Star, doesn't that make you want to back off? Medyo mindol ka.
Yeah, you really want to back off, but given that he's running the Mukau skin, it's really troll. But yeah, like we mentioned, if Mineski are able to pick up the second Cloud Drake, it allows them to rotate around the map very, very quickly. Now, speaking of objectives, Vulcan, BRE are yet to pick up their first turret.
They're trying to, but now Ardai flashing away and heal. So 2 summoners burned, and I think for Kaigo, he's pretty much happy with that, because 2 summoners for 1, it's still okay for Kaigo.
He did teleport.
He did teleport, yes, but in the end, Tristana si Ardai, he kind of removes yung safety ng
Yeah, I
flash.
think Ardai needs his summoners more than Kaigo. So, worth in a sense, even though the number is the same. Kaigo also did defend the top lane turret, so that's a lot of global gold denied from BRE. Mineski are really playing this early game well.
And maybe Mineski does not want to give away any turret, any objectives towards BRE, because 0, they have nothing
Maybe
right
that's
now.
the goal.
That's the goal, that's the gameplay. And the next raid will be the Cloud Drake. That, if that gets to be the 3rd stack, Chisto, that would just be ridiculous, because we know that they have the respawn with the Corky's package.
Yeah, alam mo, Vulcan, it's been a long time since we've seen 3 Cloud Drakes go down to any team, because normally, hindi nila kukunin yun eh. But Mineski, these are free objectives, so why not go for them?
So now we're nearing our 90-minute mark, guys. And for BRE, just getting the first blood, and that was their starting point. But in the end, it was the spikes that the Corky had, not just that, the rotations from the bot to the mid lane. Really, it choked and pressured BRE, especially Jaime. He's on the Galio, and he can't even use the hero's entrance freely.
Yeah, and if you're a Galio that can't ult, you're practically... it's a harsh word, but let's face it, a Galio that can't ult to his sidelines is usually useless to your team, because that's what you pick the Galio for. And kung hindi mo ma-utilize yung ability na yun, it really hinders your team's chances of winning.
But in a way, for Mineski, they made it that happen to Jaime, they used the 40, they rotated towards the bot lane, and now to the red side. That would be the prison locking them down. Mineski scramble around, but for the finisher, it's right there for that slow. Looks like BRE are trying to delay the fight, calling in this teleport. Looks like Lana makes it through the red side. That would be TJ, the only one remaining, and the only one being taken down from that clash.
Yeah, so it looks like BRE will actually get value from Kaigo burning his teleport earlier. It did mean that merong teleport advantage si Lando, and mukhang yung magiging sacrifice for that tiny win ng BRE will be TG going down on this Alistar, but that's very lucky for Mineski that only the support goes down.
And in the end, it's still okay for Mineski because when you're looking at the Gary and we see it on to Kaigo, they're carrying away some small bounty, yes. But in the end, yes, I agree that the support was the only one taken down. But still, Gisto, a kill is a kill. That's gold. And right now, BRE, they need all the gold they can. They cannot give it away. So we see Mineski just saw that the hero's entrance has been burned by Jaime.
That's tough. I think Shanna was well out of trouble there after the flash was burned, and I don't think Mineski were even interested to chase that. So the burned Galio ultimate is a huge pickup for Mineski, and now they're gonna be able to play a bit more aggressively, knowing na yun nga wala na yung ult ni Galio. He can't come in to respond if a fight does break out.
And the fight right now for Mineski, they're all about pressuring the silence because at this point, BRE, they don't have enough items to try and go for a 1v1. They need to invest at least 3 people against 1. And we see that for si Kaigo, he has the Thorn Mail. Mahirapan si Lando mag-duel kasi he gets the heal reduction from the grievous wounds. What's XTXP trying to do here? He's chasing it down, but in the end, he won't commit too much. But for the bot lanes being pushed hard.
Yeah, and if you wonder why BRE are being put in this situation, Vulcan, gaya nga na sinabi natin, you pick the Galio to play around your side lanes, and looking at the side lanes of BRE, the Fiora needs gold, needs to snowball in order to be a split push threat. The Tristana needs to get out of lane with the lead or else she'll be relegated just wave clearing over and over. And BRE weren't able to play around their side lanes that well because, yeah, like we mentioned, the Galio was shut down because Mineski were constantly pressuring Jaime.
And it just, let's say, made a domino effect. Because they needed this Galio for the side lanes. And when you deny that, it's really hard because that was the game plan. That was BRE's strategy entering the game 1. But Chisto, everyone, it's still not yet over. In a way, we can see that the GOAT lead is really scaling towards the 5k to 6k mark. Wala pa yung first Baron of the game. Maybe BRE can try and, let's say, go for 50-50. But it's so hard knowing that there is an Alistar. But we know XDXP, he's on an Olaf. He's immune to CC.
Or you can just kill him before he goes straight in because
yeah, that's
Mineski
true.
deal a lot of damage.
Yeah,
so one play around that CC is just straight up kill the Olaf. But I don't think Mineski will allow it to become a 50-50. I think they're just gonna lay down vision around the Baron area, look for a pick possibly, and then once it's a possible 4v5 3v5, then we go for the Baron.
Yeah, we have to weigh things out here for BRE because now we're nearing the 25-minute mark, Gisto, everyone. So summoners we're seeing right now for a BRE, still one of the surprising teams making it this far to the semifinals. I don't think they're losing hope just yet, Gisto. I think that when this Fiora can try and stack on more gold, they can go for, let's say, pickups or try and force a fight where we know the Fiora in the late game is a beast. And we know that the only damage they have right now is the Fiora and the Tristana.
I mean, game 1 pa lang Vulcan eh. I mean, yeah, like we mentioned, if BRE does fall down, they have a few more games to possibly come back. So yeah, for this game, I think they're just trying to stall. Possibly look for a pick, like you mentioned.
They might get a pick off here. Jaime going for the face check, gets stung by the finisher, and that would be the stun for that pick off that BRE needed.
Man, is that a caster curse right there? The moment we say na kailangan ng BRE ng pick off, they get one onto the core key. So that's critical for Mineski, and I think it hurts their chances of going for that early Baron. This gives BRE a bit of time though. It buys them around 30 seconds that they have an advantage on the map. Let's see. Will they finally take down their first start of the game? I think so.
I think this will be it, and this will give, let's say, gold boost. I mean, did see that Arda and Shano, they were the ones to take down that outer top lane turret of Mineski. But now it's at this point, Gisto, we're seeing a lot of vision, a lot of wards being invested. The Baron bit, and now XSP goes in there. He does dodge and sidestep the Pulverize. Calls it Jaime. The knockup is there. Looks like he gets knocked to the end. This will be BRE. Turning things around against Mineski. 2v3 gets the taunt on the 2 members. They won't go back just yet. Teleport coming in. They will call in Lando, but we see Hammers from the side with the Corki. This is dangerous for BRE. Now Mineski is the ones pushing them back away from the fight. That was the grand challenge onto the Sichuani, but in the end, Hammers will take the Lando, and there will be another CC lockdown there. That's the Meganar. We all love the Meganar when there's powerful CC. This is the fight that Mineski are cleaning things up here, and that would be the ace.
Yeah, there was no hesitation in Mineski right there, and with that clean ace on BRE, it looks like they're gonna take everything from them. Hammers just push mid lane. I think this could be a very clear Baron at them, and sinabi ko hindi hahayaan ng Mineski na gawing 50-50. There's no better way to take a Baron than when no enemies are on the map.
And your ace, that's a free Baron, and Mineski goes straight to it. So, from that glass cheese, we can see that BRE got some, I would say, mini confidence from their 2 pickups they had, but it's still not enough. They were too ambitious, but still, it's not yet over for BRE. We know that they had what it takes when it comes to damage. We saw that Lando was so close, but it's better to see everything in a breakdown.
Yeah, you know why BRE are confident to go for this fight is because they got the pick off onto the Corki very, very early. But since Hammers is running the teleport, kahit kaka-respond lang niya, he's able to respond to this fight. So BRE thinks this is a 4v5. No, it's actually a 5v5. And regardless of Lando going in, there's no more frontline once Jaime dies. And that just allows the Ezreal and the Corgi to play super aggressively. Look how deep Hammers is. There's no threat onto him because he's not afraid at all. And look at the aggression here. Pure aggression from Mineski. There's no hesitation. They just constantly chase down, and all of this chaos leads to the Baron. And that's a big win for Mineski.
The last boulder throw really slowed, and that set up the kill for Hammers and assist. But now it's more important to say that for Mineski, now this is a point where we have reached beyond the 10k goal lead after this point, and I think it will be very difficult for BRE to now fight back against Mineski because they got the Baron buff, they got the 3rd stack on their Cloud Drake.
Hey, triple Cloud Drake Vulcan. Something we rarely see, but yeah, now that Mineski do have the Baron, it's only Jaime for the wave here, and Galio deals magic damage, and given that the Baron buff to the minion denies a lot of that, it's incredibly difficult for BRE to try and stall out this game. And also in the back end of the fight, Hammers also took down the mid lane inhibitor turret. That's a bare inhibitor that Mineski are barreling down on.
They're taking it down right now, as we can see in the map, Summers. But when it comes to the top lane, they will be responding to BRE. Going really overextending right there. The exhaust has been used to Hammers. That would be enough time for Ardai to take down Hammers. But Kaigo is left untouched there. That's Ardai getting the reach. That's getting away with a rocket jump. Looks like we're seeing TG popping the glory. And in the end, cleans up the top lane. 2 members of BRE were taken down in the top lane, and we did see another casualty around the map. So we see Jaime responding here to the bot lane, chasing away the Sichuani.
Yeah, ang dami nangyari in that few minutes, Vulcan, but I did think regardless of Gary going down, nakuha pa rin ng Mineski yung mid lane inhibitor, and yun talaga yung gusto nila. They needed to use this Baron to break open the base of BRE, and now that the mid lane tower is gone, now they can set up for a split push with the Gnar. They're gonna send 4 members in one lane and put Kaigo in another lane, and this is just such an annoying position to be in. Kung kayo yung BRE.
But it's still, in a way, Jaime is building up to more MR items, but we do see that for Mineski, they are more on AD, but it's a Corki, so we know that it's very deceiving to see a Corki. But it's all comes down to for BRE, how can they fix the situation?
They need to stall out. They need to try and delay this game. And
Team fight wise, do they have what it takes?
they're gonna get heavily outscaled, but I'd rather be playing at a point where I can combat my enemies rather than I'm behind. Because the longer the game goes, the gold lead gets less and less relevant.
And we saw that in the top lane, right, for Arda and Chana trying to get any sort of lead. But off the map there, that would be Lando with a Fiora picking up a free kill. Let's say, no, not a free kill, a kill in the bot lane. We're seeing Hammers really stacking up the deaths there because he's very squishy. And James in a way is kind of fearless to really approach the enemy because he knows that he's ahead, but he has to respect at this point. This is a Tristana that
It's
has
a Fiora as well. Do you
as a Fiora
really
as
want
well.
to 1v1 a Fiora in a side and has a Corki with no flash even? And looking at the 6 kills BRE has, 4 of those are onto the Corki.
And now we're seeing Ardai picking up the red buff. That can help him for a while, but for the items, I think for Ardai, he has enough items as a Tristana to deal a lot of damage. Those are the only items he needs.
Yeah, but let's not ignore the fact na lamang pa rin ng isang buong item. Ito si Garena. He also has the QSS, so that's less threats on
He
him.
also has the Giant Slayer, so masakit. Yeah, so for BRE,
It's gonna hurt a lot.
it's really gonna hurt a lot. And now, what I'm waiting for is how will this game end. It's a matter of time because Jaime has been spotted in the top lane. That would be TG going in with a headbutt. He could not pulverize him. He does flash away. Jaime still gets the lockdown there. That's going to be XDX in a weird spot. He won't commit towards his fight. Look at Shana blocking so much damage, but in the end, that would be a sacrifice for BRE, and that stops Mineski for now. They dealt the blows, but it all went down to June.
Yeah, in the end, it's only Shanna going down, trading the support's life for the mid laner. And I think that's a lot of value right there because the Gallo is one of their primary wave clear options. But with Jaime being chunked down, I don't think that there's anyone from BR who wants to defend this tower. Now, Mineski, 5-man strong. It's still 15 seconds onto the Braum. BRE need to stall and wait for Shanna to spawn here.
Oh, what are you gonna do, Chista? Because at this point, BRE, they need to do something. Shanna will be live in 5 seconds. Lando doing a split push. BRE can buy time here and buy enough time for Lando to push in the bot lane. XTX be a bit hesitant. He did let Kaigu recall. So Lando, this could be the hope for BRE. They could just split push. Fiora is a very powerful split pusher. The E can just crit turrets too.
That would have gone extremely differently if either one of Jaime or XDX's abilities landed onto Kaigu. Kung na-cancel nila yung recall ng Nar, Lando would have been on the turret and it would have possibly went down. So, just the margins on that. Because I think BRE could have stalled there, just canceled the back. But yeah, of course, it was also very risky because Mineski could have just immediately turned onto them for a re-engage and the game would have been ended if BRE was caught out there. So, really close stuff right there.
I'm really curious for BRE in a way that they still are on the run to win, try and win this game once with any type of strategy they can go for. At this point, they know that if they stall Mineski long enough, and if they can face off against Mineski with a 4v5, this can buy Lando a lot of time. And we did see he's building towards the Death Dance. He has the Sterax. Has enough AD, has enough health to try and sustain. What's this? Maybe a damage trade-off with Kaigo in his Gnar, but at this point, I don't think Mineski, they saw what happened. They won't let that happen again.
Yan, alam mo yung nangyari ng Broken. Looking at the game has progressed. Mineski absolutely crushed early game, but moving towards the mid game, I think some of the pickoffs onto James really delayed Mineski from ending the game earlier. They weren't able to push as much during their first Baron buff, but now the second Baron of the game has spawned. Both teams mag-aagawan sila sa vision dito sa objective ito because look, if Mineski takes this, it could be their key to ending the game. If BRE secures the Baron, makakapag-stall sila. Though XDX, we can't afford to die here.
He does have the Ragnarok, and he is still persistent and annoying Mineski. And Lando again in the ball lane because we know at this point Mineski will be eyeing this Baron buff. BRE, 4 members strong, really on their blue side of the map. They're trying to just stop Mineski from recalling, but I think for Shanna, she won't stay that long. 1, 2, 3. We are seeing 4 members already in the pit. XDX be forced to use the Ragnarok. He won't be locked down by Mineski, but that is what they wanted here. Now they can try. Yes, they will go for the Baron buff.
Yeah, and gusto ko yung patience ng Mineski. Even though both teams were posturing for vision,
They can try and stop this. This time they have Lando. They are going for the fight. Jaime goes in with a taunt on the 2 members. That will be the taunt, and that's going to be the finisher to slow things down for Mineski. But we see the Grand Challenge has popped the heal. They will survive for for now, but it all comes down to Kaigo. Yellow bar, he could reach in Meganar form. That'll be the entrance to scare them away. But in the end, Jaime will be left to be the picked up there. Blue side of the map, Mineski though just mowing down BRE.
Yeah, I think Jaime, it would be better if he survived there and then just recall it, teleported back in, but he chose to sacrifice his life to save the rest of his members.
It's not yet over. They are still trying to go for this Baron. Let's see. Looks like June's out of mana. We are seeing members very low. Ardai gets the kill. And now we're seeing BRE going in and out of the fight. Hamas is low. But in the end, he gets that sweet triple.
Hamas comes up huge in that team fight. Just 1 HP left. He cleans up the rest of BRE. Now they're going to take both inhibitors and possibly end the game here unless Jaime can do something about it. Man, I really want to see a replay of that fight because Hamas was one hit
Very
away.
close to
He
death.
was 1 hit away from dying.
One hit from death there. But as of to the summoners who are asking about the thrill of the hunt, know that the conditions are if there is a triple, there is a quadra, or a penta, or objective steals like the Baron or
no,
the
no, no, no.
Drake. Oh, and I was about to really freeze. That was actually an easy pickup because Shada just used the Q. That was an immediate shutdown to Hamas.
Oh my god, Vulcan. That was extremely close margins, but Mineski were still able to pick up one inhibitor from all of that fighting.
But you saw what happened. I think the viewers saw what happened at BRE. They can still try. At this point,
Yeah.
Chisto, they can now contest the Baron.
You know, I like the call that BRE made where, yeah, it looks like even though this is actually the first fight where Jaime was trying to go for a flank in, Mineski though, they tried to kite back here because Kaigo isn't in the fight yet, so they reassess the fight. But once Kaigo arrives, they can now start pushing forward, and with all that poke coming from the Corki and the Ezreal, you just pick whoever's in front and go kill them. Now Jaime sacrifices his life to try and disengage, but since Kaigo arrived to the fight, he was able to use Meganar, and now
The ultimate was blocked.
at this point, Mineski are gonna try and go for the Baron, and alam ng BRE, hindi nila pwedeng i-give up to. So they challenge the Baron, and look at Ardai
They
here.
were so close.
Just playing on a knife's edge. Just the amount of crits and... Oh man, that was beautiful from Ardai. Now look at how close this is. How was just 1 HP from going away? If he didn't flash in, if he didn't flash out, if Lando was able to auto-attack him.
That would be enough sustain for Lando to get a kill. And we know that he's running maybe the precision. Who knows? If he has the Triumph, that would be enough health. So the Grand Challenge was used. But now, I think this could be a
Look at the Baron.
a glimmer of hope for BRE. Teleport is available for Lando and Kaigo.
Yeah, but
Baron
no,
is low.
Kaigo's no longer in Meganar form.
Teleport's incoming. Package has been used to provide some zone there. That would be a lot of damage again onto Jaime, the main tank, in a way to absorb the damage. But Shana has to be the one to block at least some and help out Jaime to at least survive the fight. But we're seeing right now, BRE, they're not yet backing off. We are seeing a recall, but Jaime does have the teleport. He returned base.
Right, now Mineski, they're gonna go back onto this Baron and they're gonna force Jaime's teleport. Then the moment the Galio teleports in, they're gonna turn for a fight.
Maybe, but we are seeing Jaime. He does have the hero's entrance that's going for the dive here. Mineski secured the Baron, but will they get away? That will be alright, taking down Teach, and now we're seeing a lockdown. A huge lockdown on to Kaigo. That would be BRE challenging for the Baron. In the end, they did not get the buff, but was able to take down 2 members of Mineski.
Kaya gusto ko yung laban ng BRD. Talagang palaban sila. They haven't given up yet, regardless of the lead that Mineski has built up over this game. Now, Mineski do have the Baron buff onto 3 members. Unfortunately, it won't be on the Gnar, which would have loved to have the Baron buff so that he can split push and put that buff onto the minions. Now, the question for BRE, they need to defend until the mid inhibitor is up.
We always talked about Chisto, that when the gold lead of 10k is established in a very early state, that is difficult, right? But when you extend the game at the mark where we're reaching nearing the 40-minute mark, actually 2 minutes from that, we are seeing in a way that the lead established is being equalized here, and we're seeing how many items locked in by Lando. Locked in items there has the Guardian Angel. Same thing for Kaigo. Locked items there. He did pop his Angel there. And we know that for Mineski, having the Baron buff, they will be the ones to really stop Lando from split pushing the bot lane.
Yan, I think pinag-usapan natin ito earlier in the game, Vulcan, where the longer the game goes, the less relevant the gold league becomes. They just become numbers in a sense where regardless of kung gaano kayaman yung team nyo, it all comes down to how you execute in these team fights.
And we're seeing that when it comes to the CS-wise, I know it at this point, Gisto, that it's not really noticing, but we're seeing how BRE was able to stall this long. We see it on Ardai, we see it on Lando. We don't want to side lane, especially the bot lane. So now, with the Baron buff in the hands of Mineski, can BRE stop it again? Can BRE try and delay the game even more so that the lead that Mineski established can become more irrelevant?
Yeah, they're gonna try and stall here though.
But it comes down to execution and skating here in Mineski. They will not take those chances. We're seeing that they are top lane strong. 5 members already mowing it down. But Kaigo will be forced to respawn to the split push of, let's say, Lando. And I don't think that Mineski can be reckless at this point. Now we're seeing the members of Mineski blowing in slowly. What is I'm seeing in here? What is this? Jaime trying to go for the flag. Gets headbutt by TJ. Forced to call in Kaigo for some help. But will he make it up in time? Hero's address coming in and Kaigo that gets knocked up to the air. He cannot join in the fight. He gets zoned by XP. Now BRE, the members are stalling the 3 members of Mineski, but they cannot survive long. They just forgot that Hamas is so fed at this point and just popping up the members of BRE one by one.
Oh my, it's only Lando and XP left. Mineski, they still have 4 members. They still have enough tools to push down the base of BRE.
They need to try, they need to do something here. We are seeing the death timers for Jaime, 3 members of BRE. Clearing the
moment mo na, Lando, moment mo na.
Let's see, can he make a play here? Vital spots has been exposed, but I don't think he can try and go back to the fight. What can they do? XP and Lando
I think that's it.
to stall the game. Challenges there, but no, it was too late. That will be Mineski going for game 1.
Oh my, that last fight, Vulcan, that could have gone either way, but I think the deciding factor was Ardai choosing to chase down Kaigo. Kaigo was enough of a distraction that even though BRE were able to win the initial part of that team fight, given that the damage wasn't there, Ardai wasn't hitting the key members while everyone else was tanking for him. Mineski were able to re-engage onto that fight. They were able to kite back with their carries, and with that, they're able to come up with that game 1 victory.
But what a close game that was. It was really a close game. In a way, that Lana was buying enough time for BRE. But I think this is safe to say that Mineski will be taking away game 1. This will help them adjust. And for BRE, I hope they can adjust moving on to game 2. Because we all know that in the best of 5 series, that it is really not yet over till it's over until you get those 3 points. We know that reverse sweeps do happen. But can BRE be the ones to make it happen here as we come back after a short break? My name is Vulcan, with me was Chisto, your shoutcasters for Mineski versus BRE that will continue after the short break. Mineski 2v3 gets the taunt on the 2 members. They won't go back just yet. Teleport coming in. They will call in Lando, but we see Hamas from the side with the Corki. This is dangerous for BRE. Now Mineski are the ones pushing them back away from the fight. That was a grand challenge onto the Sichuani, but in the end, Hamas will take the Lando, and there will be another CC lockdown there. That's the Meganar. We all love the Meganar when there's powerful CC. This is the fight that Mineski are cleaning things up here, and that will be the ace. Yeah, they will try and stop this. This time they have Lando. They are going for the fight. Jaime goes in with a taunt on the 2 members. That will be the taunt, and that's going to be the finisher to slow things down for Mineski. But we see the grand challenge has popped the heel. They will survive for now, but it all comes down to Kaigo. Yellow Paw, he could reach in Meganar form. That will be the entrance to scare them away. But in the end, Jaime will be left to be the picked up there. Blue side of the map. Mineski just mowing down BRE.
I think Jaime, it would be better if he survives there.
It's not yet over. They are still trying to go for this Baron. Let's see. Looks like June's out of mana. We are seeing members very low. Ardai gets the kill. And now we're seeing BRE going in and out of the fight. Hamas is low. But in the end, he gets that Wait! Triple!
Hammers
They're gonna
comes
turn
up for a fight.
Maybe, but we are seeing Jaime. He does have the hero's entrance. That's going for the dive here. Mineski secured the barrier, but will they get away? That will be alright. Taking down Siege, and now we're seeing a lockdown. A huge lockdown on the Kaido. That would be BRE challenging for the barrier. In the end, they did not get the buff, but was able to. Jaime tried to go for the flag. Gets headbutt by Seiji. Forced to call in Kaigo for some help, but will he make it up in time? Hero's entrance coming in, and Kaigo that gets knocked up to the air. He cannot join in the fight. He gets zoned by XD. Now BRE, the members are stalling the 3 members of Mineski, but they cannot survive long. They just forgot that Hammers is so fed at this point and just popping up the members of BRE one by one.
Oh my, it's only Lando and XD.
Moment mo na, Lando. Moment mo na. Let's see, can he make a play here? Vital Spots has been exposed, but I don't think he can try and go back to the fight. What can they do? XXP and Lando
I think that's it.
to stall the game. Challenges there, but no, it was too late. That will be Mineski going for game 1.
Oh my, that last fight, bro. That could